Hi, friends! Join us as we dive into the themes, metaphors, and foreshadowing of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We are your hosts, Leah,
Sarah, Tabby.
and whether you're a new viewer or a longtime fan, welcome to Becoming Buffy.
Hey guys. So this is a bit unprecedented, but what can I say? We live in unprecedented times. So, as most of you probably know, or if you haven't heard, so there were news that broke this past week about a Buffy revival that is kind of in the works on Hulu. That broke, I think, on Monday of last week. And then on Thursday, we had Sarah Michelle Gellar who issued a statement talking about it and all that stuff. And we recorded our response and reactions in our normal weekly recording of the episode we were recapping. The thing is, though, and not many of you may be aware of this, we are about 10 weeks ahead in our recording sessions versus where we're at in our release schedule. So while we're still releasing season 6 episodes, we're about halfway through season 7 in our recording. And we realized that by the time we get around to that episode airing, it's going to be a couple months from now. There might be some more news that have broken at that point. So we decided to cut that segment out and we're going to release it for you guys today to listen to. That's why you'll hear us talking about recording, I think it's Never Leave Me in season 7. And we'll tack this on to that episode. You'll hear all of this stuff later on down the line as well when we get to that episode. But this is just a warning to everyone that this is going to be talking about spoilers for all of season 7. And then obviously the revival, and stick around to the end because there might be hints of some news about the podcast and the future of it and everything. So enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to Becoming Buffy. Today we're talking about season 7, episode 9, Never Leave Me, written by Drew Goddard, directed by David Solomon, aired November 26th, 2002. But before we jump into it, so by the time you guys are all going to be listening to this podcast, this is going to be like 2 or 3 months down the line. But the news about the Buffy, it's not a reboot, the Buffy continuation, I guess you could say, this Buffy sequel just broke this week. And I know you guys have already heard my thoughts with Leia over on Investigating Angel. But I have not really heard Tabby and Leah's thoughts, and I'm very curious. I know you guys have seen the news. What are your thoughts on everything that's come out? And Sarah Michelle Gellar just posted today, like officially announcing it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I think before she had posted about it, I it's very rare that a reboot sequel even stands close to the originals. There have
Yeah.
been some rare cases where it's been a good reboot slash sequel, and been pretty close. And like my brain is like literally going blank as I'm saying that. But I know there
You're
has
like,
okay, oh, you know what? Like the Top Gun Maverick loved more than the original. Sorry, I'll
mm,
say it. Way better. I thought it was
I've heard that
really,
from a
really
couple
good.
people.
And I watched the first one and I was like, it's good. But like I don't understand why this got like a whole generation of people wanting to become like pilots. I don't understand.
That's
But
so
I'm also
funny.
not a man. So and a man
True.
who grew up in the 80s. But then I watched like the sequel, but also I love Miles Teller, but they had great chemistry. The story was great. It played a lot of homage. It was like way more exciting to me to watch. Like it worked. Um and then Scream 5 came out and I was like, this one's all right. It's okay. And then Leah and I watched with Simon, her husband, the sixth one came out and being like, yeah, we'll see how this one goes if we'll watch like the newer versions. And it was really good. And I was like, you know what? Okay. They got the essence back. Like, and the fifth one had some good parts to it, but there were some things where I was like, I don't know. But when it comes to TV shows, though, this is usually where lose me. Like, I watched half of the first season of and Just Like That, and I know that's not unpopular, but I just was like, I can't do it. It just was not
Mhm.
good to me. And I've heard that season 2 gets a lot better, and it's probably going to get better after that. And maybe I'll circle back, but it's just people when, and this is not the actor's fault per se, but when you're outside the head of a character for decades and then you're
Mhm.
thrown back into it, it's almost never the same essence because again, you're not in the flow of the show. Also, you're in different stages of the characters' lives. Like, there's a tonal shift. Most of the time, it's not the same directors.
It's also a
Um,
completely different culture too. That's what people don't seem
yeah.
to understand is like these early 2000s, 90s shows that keep getting rebooted, they worked really well because of the time that they were in. And so you're never going to capture that exact vibe because you're in a completely different time period.
But also, I just like my biggest thing with, and just like that too, is they just, and this is a common criticism. So this is not just me speaking like this is a unique criticism I have of it, but it just focused so much on like cultural and political, uh and I never use this word truly, like
It was too
wokeness.
woke. It was too
Yes,
woke.
where I
Yes.
was watching it and it was
It
so
was
cringe,
tokenism.
and no one says the stuff that they say. Like, it was like no one says this. Like, it just wasn't just normal. Like, and being like, okay, this person is gay, this person's bi, this person's trans, like, and just existing. It was like it had to be this massive statement, like you said, Sarah. It was very tokenism, and it just felt unnatural and uncomfortable, and the conversations were just not normal. um I don't know. It was too much. But I just feel like sometimes some newer shows have that issue where it's just like we can have representation and it just be normal life, because that's how it is. When you're hanging out with your friends, you have different opinions and different life experiences. You're just hanging out with each other. You're not sitting there. I mean, obviously, if there's major things happening like the last couple of weeks or last couple of months, you're going to be talking about it because those are major things. But um, that's not all the time. And I just feel like a lot of modern shows don't know how to just have a show that shows real life. Um, I feel like we've lost a lot of that. And
Mhm.
I worry for a lot of reboots. And I think a lot of them are just like scared to like be canceled. That's how it comes across to me. And maybe I'm projecting. But all that to say, I was kind of feeling iffy about it until Sarah posted, and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, not me.
And she went on this whole long thing, and I was telling Sarah, our sister Sarah, off camera, about like SMG has always had her hand on the pulse of Buffy's integrity and character, and has held that close to her chest so well, and knows the character so well, and cares about her and the purpose of the show Buffy. She knows it well. Even the way she's talked about it for decades, it's like she truly gets it, gets the reason for the show, gets the metaphors, gets the purpose of girlhood and the horrors of it. She understands it and understands Buffy so well. And this is her baby. Like, it's like Lauren Graham with Lorelai Gilmore. Those are their babies. They love those characters. Um and I knew that if Sarah Michelle Gellar was ever gonna come back, especially her being her producer also gives me hope. Um, she would make sure that it was right. I mean, a couple years ago when there was like rumblings of there being a reboot, she was like, "Hell no, I'm not going to be a part of that. In fact, I don't think it should happen." She said that on the red carpet. She was like, "It's not going to be as good." And then it got dropped. And so the fact that this has been years in the making of having conversations where she was going in being like, "I don't want to do it, but I'll listen," makes me more hopeful. I was really long winded. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine.
I try to have an open mind when it comes to reboots or revamps of things. How I Met Your Father, I thought was a really good like
True.
revamp. It wasn't the same cast, which I thought was a smart, but it was a similar
The second
concept.
season actually was really good.
I know, and then it got canceled. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I really like that. Another one that sticks in my mind that I forget about all the time is a reboot is Doctor Who. Like
Oh,
Mm,
Doctor Who is like the
yes.
yes.
Yep.
OG reboot, and
That's
I never
true.
watched the original.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
true.
I can speak to the idea of coming in during the second generation. I had no concept of the previous Doctor Who show in the 70s until like a few episodes in. I just kind of was like, okay, this show's kind of lit. Um, and like, so I think that to say that a reboot automatically can't is not going to be good. I'm not going to stand on that because I've watched and Tabby mentioned a lot of good ones too. A lot of good like revamps or reworking whatever. I think it can be done well. I think it just is very nerve-wracking because
Mhm.
you really have to do it well. And it's hard work because you really have to ride that line between I want to pay homage, I want to be respectful, I want to honor the fans, but also this is a new show. We're going to do new things. The characters are going to be newer. If we have old characters, they might be different. Like they might be a little different. Like so you really have to find that balance, but they can't be too different where you feel like this isn't the character I know. I kind of echo everything Tabby said in a lot of ways of just like Sarah Michelle Gellar is just very good at what she does. And I think she will take care of Buffy. I think my only fear is, and this may sound so funny, but it's don't have Buffy be the main character anymore. And I love Buffy.
She's not going to.
Yeah. And I love Buffy. But Buffy had 7 seasons to be in the spotlight. And they were beautiful. And her story was beautiful. But also, on a selfish reason, I want Buffy to be able to be on the sidelines a little bit.
We want Buffy to rest to get her happy
ending. I want Buffy to rest. I want her to be more in a watcher type, like, you know, mentor-y type situation where she helps and she guides and she gives advice. And if she really needs to, she can fight. But, like, I want her to be able to clock out at the end of the night and go home for the most part. Like, I don't want her carrying this burden anymore. And I don't want to spoil things for the end of the season, but I also think the way that this show leaves off leaves a really interesting door for what they can explore to come. And I really hope they take advantage of that. And I have high hopes that with Sarah Michelle Gellar on board, they will.
I'm worried it'll get too messy, though, with that storyline.
I don't think so. I think they could do it really well.
It's very clear that that's what they're doing, though. Like they said she's a reoccurring character. She's not the main character.
No, I'm not talking about Buffy. I'm trying. Don't put this in the. Or if you don't care about spoilers, it's fine. I'm talking more so about like the potentials. I feel like it might get crowded if there are lots of different slayers.
I'm not. But that's the world we're going into, though.
Yeah.
That's the world we're going into. Is there's a bunch of slayers, and how do you manage? I mean, we saw that even in season 5 of Angel. Like, there's all these slayers, and they're following Buffy. I want to see that dynamic, truthfully. I want to see what it looks like to kind of create this organization built by women, built by Buffy.
But being something that is the opposite, the antithesis of the Watchers Council.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
that's
also,
interesting.
I want a big old F you to Joss Whedon. I want a bunch of women to come on and make this show what it should have been in the first place. Yeah. What it should have been, which is just a bunch of women, like, rallying and being the protectors. I think that's so cool, and I think that they have such a cool thing to do here. They really, I mean, the end of the show has really set them up for a really cool concept. Like, just a bunch of badass women who are in this secret organization who take down evil. That's so cool. I mean, that's really what season 1 was about, was there's this secret organization and there's this one woman who's chosen. And now it's like very similar but tweaked, and I think that leaves her such a cool premise. And it's going to be really cool to have all these new characters and have the old ones peeking in and still giving us that nostalgia, still giving us that feel of the world, but they're not going to have to be trapped in this bubble of like, oh, we have all these characters and we have to write them in every season, all this stuff, and eventually we're going to run out of plot lines. So, like, we're going to have to tear love interests apart. We're going to have to all this stuff to original characters. And it's like, hey, dude, with all respect, please leave them alone. Just please leave them alone. Like,
yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there's a real potential, not to like, and I'll put a spoiler over all of this because obviously we're going to be talking about stuff at the end. I think there's a real potential for Oz to come back. He's still out there. He's existing. And Seth Green and Sarah Michelle Gellar are best friends. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a potential for Oz.
Was like with the gang just helping.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
You could do that even without Willow. You could just have him show up and him and Buffy be friends.
But honestly, I feel like if Oz came back and it had been like 10 years and Willow was fully gay, right? And he just was like, "Yeah, we dated, loved her. She's gay now."
Yeah,
like that's definitely how Oz would be.
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
Yep.
oh my god, stop! I didn't even think about that. When
Right.
I saw David Boreanaz's post, I was like, I didn't even think about the fact that Angel
We
could
might
possibly be
actually
there.
get to
See, guys, I don't know about that. See, maybe I'm in
No,
the minority here. I really don't see a world, and they're gonna bring back David Boreanaz or James Marsters. How would they? How?
Sean Shu, dude.
but no, I need that. I need
I'm
Angel
trying not to get my
have been
hopes up,
worth
guys.
this.
Guys, it's not
And
gonna
I'm saying
happen.
this in the most like fangirly, I know
I
it's
know,
not realistic
dude.
way. I have an unhealthy need of needing Buffy and Angel together. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I watched the entirety of Angel the show because Sarah was like, there's a lot of nods to Buffy, and I was like, okay, period, yes. Went through the trauma and turmoil of
I didn't say
Angel
there were a lot. I
season
said there were
4.
some.
And then I got to season 5. And Sarah was like, "Oh yeah, there's this one
And
episode
Leah,
that's Buffy."
But I
centric."
told you.
Let me,
I
let
told
me, let me
you.
finish. Okay, Sarah was like, "Oh yeah, there's this one episode that's Buffy centric." And guys, the way my hopes
She set her up for
shot
failure.
through the roof.
I
It
told
wasn't
her
Sarah's
she
fault.
was
It
not
wasn't
coming.
Sarah's
I said,
fault.
I'm telling you
It
now.
was. No, it was Sarah's fault for
It was
sure.
not for her fault. Sarah told me Buffy was not going to be in there, but in my twisted, sick mind, I thought Sarah was lying.
She's lying.
I was like, Sarah's pranking me. Buffy's
Yeah.
gonna show up because like that'd be iconic.
Yeah, Leah's crying angry
I don't
tears.
know why I believe that. I get to the end of the episode. Oh, why am I crying? I'm bawling. I'm so angry. I rage on Sarah. I'm like, why did you have me watch this show? I hate this show. It's so I'm
She had
an
a for
adult.
real crash out.
I'm
after the
an
episode.
adult. I'm an adult. It's not real. I'm crying and I'm like, Sarah, I need them to get together. I need them to, and she's like, it's okay. Hey, a little embarrassing. But the only thing that keeps me sane now is the very end of season 7 where they like have that conversation about like one day, hey, what if they're like 40 and 50 and it's still not there yet? I can't do that. I can't do that. I'd rather them just allude to her being like, yeah, I have someone at home. Never mention who, never show him. I don't care.
Just play the Buffy theme song, the Buffy and Angel theme song.
Or just leave it
That's
up
all
to
you have to do.
speculation. I don't care if they never mention it, and some people think it's Spike, and some people think it's Angel. I don't care as long as I get to live in my fantasy little world where she's with Angel. Period. That's all I care. That's all I care about. And I know that's not realistic, and I know that it's my hopes and dreams may be shattered, but I just don't want them to be. So
yeah. I have a hard time sitting here being like, I don't see anyone from the OG gang other than Sarah Michelle Gellar being in this like reboot. I don't see a world in how that's going to work out.
It'd be very hard for them to do it.
Yeah, I just don't see a world in which, and honestly, I think I'm okay with that. Like,
yeah,
I feel like Allison Hannigan is maybe the only one who would come back, but like we're not getting Nicholas
I do
want to
see Giles. I do want to see Giles. I
really?
think I would
Giles
want Tony
is the
Head
one I
there.
think I'm okay with him like getting killed off screen.
I feel like I don't know. I'd be okay with him coming back. I have a gut feeling that he's just not going to. Like either he's going to be dead off screen or like he's just not coming back.
Xander will not be there.
Xander won't be there. Michelle Trachtenberg won't be there.
Yeah.
Willow probably won't. Like maybe Oz of anything. I don't see either of the vampires, like both James and like David, and Anya is KO'd. So
yeah. Most everybody's either dead or the vampires they'd have to figure out a way to show them
or the
aged.
actors and actresses just either aren't doing it anymore or
like Eliza Dushku. I wish so badly that Faith would come back.
So badly, but I feel like
she's
one
a therapist
of those people,
now.
Yeah, she's one of those people that's just like, I left it behind. Do you know what I mean?
Which, to be fair, with all of the stuff she had
like,
to go through, I don't blame her.
Valid.
Could you imagine like Faith? I would die seeing the both on screen. Actually, now that you said that, out of everyone coming back, I would die seeing them two together.
And then being
here's the
like
thing.
friends.
I'm not.
Oh my god! Stop!
Right.
I would cry.
I'm not ruling it. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but I'm also not ruling it out because I could see Sarah calling them up and say, "Hey, we want to do this." And I want you there for one episode. Or I want all this stuff. It doesn't have to be you're clocked in for a whole season or for the rest of the show or whatever.
I just need a scene. I need like one episode.
And
especially
no Joss.
Yes, with no Joss. It has, and then even to say, hey, I pitched this on our Discord, but like Eliza Dushku is a huge advocate for mental health now to say, hey, we're going to have this be like this episode be very much about mental health, because that's a thing that teenagers are going through right now.
Especially
Like,
teenage
let's say
slayers.
Faith became a therapist. Imagine the Slayers
Oh,
go to
stop.
Faith.
That'd be
Like,
beautiful.
right? There's things that they can do, and that's what I'm
That'd
really
be full
excited
circle
about.
for Faith to not even be involved in any of the
Right.
fighting anymore. Like, she found her stop.
Or
I'm
like
gonna
you get
cry.
to the end of this, you get to
Put
the
me in
end
the writer's
of the
room.
you get to the end of the season, and they're like having the massive battle, and they're like, Faith, we need you. And you see the therapist Faith comes in and actually does do some fighting a little bit, but like, it's like a healthier Faith. This isn't a Faith that we see lost to rage. This is a Faith that is calmer. And I don't know, it'd be amazing to see. And us just sitting here talking about all these ideas and the things that they can do shows that there's still so much story that can be told. And that's my thing with a lot of these
You guys
reboots
think if
and
it's good, we would do a podcast
Well, that
on
was
it?
going to be my next question.
Oh, did you even think about that?
People are asking.
Oh, man.
We are about to finish season 7.
We're never gonna be rid of this podcast.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Hey, we would have breaks in between because they would drop every like
Exactly.
2 years now.
Right. And this isn't airing. And they said like 2026, 2027, because it's still in pre-production.
And
like,
we would get like a huge break off the podcast.
Yeah.
And then we would
Exactly.
be able to come back and it would be cool because we would literally be hitting it in its stride.
Yeah. Well, we could even video
Interesting.
ourselves watching it for the first time. We could watch it together and talk about our experiences.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
What
So
if it
like
sucks?
if it's
We just stop the podcast.
We turn off the cameras. We're
Hey
like
guys,
getting
so
mad.
unfortunately, we don't like it. So we're just gonna stop.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
find out that Angel isn't the love interest. Hey guys, so unfortunately I can't move forward with the podcast.
They bring Riley back.
Dude,
Bring Riley
stop,
back.
stop.
I forgot about Riley coming back.
I think I'm gonna vomit. Oh my god.
I don't think
can't
he's an
take
actor
anyone.
anymore, is he? No, wait,
He
no,
is,
he
yeah,
was in
he
the
is.
Life with the Walter Boys or whatever.
No, please. I can't take any more Riley. I cannot take one more minute of Riley
He's
on my
married though.
screen.
He probably has like 7 kids and they live in Idaho
Yeah, oh yeah, real.
or Utah.
But yeah, let's stick to his
They're a
character
Utah
arc.
family.
He's in Pennsylvania.
Oh
Pennsylvania.
my gosh.
No, they live in Utah now in my brain. They have
Here's what
7
I'll
kids.
say. Here's
live
what
on
I'll
a farm.
say. I think it is very rare that you have this many people excited for a reboot. And I
Yeah.
think it's what a crazy thing that when we're finishing the podcast about the original show, they're talking about the reboot.
Well, guys, let's
Like,
think
that
about
is
all the
crazy.
things that have happened since we started this podcast. We started it in 2020.
We're such a
and then-
trailblazer, guys. It's
and
so
then-
popular now.
We are not a
There were so many Buffy
people
podcasts.
before us.
There was literally
But we
a joke.
started in 2020, and then that year, Charisma Carpenter came out with all the allegations, and since
Yeah,
then
bro,
there's
we've been in the trenches in this. I remember recording season 1,
Yeah.
and then we had to go back and be like, hey guys, so remember all those nice things we said about Joss? We don't support that anymore. Sorry.
Yeah.
We do think he's the scumbag and that he's not a genius, but unfortunately we do love this show. Like, hey, what did we sign up for?
well, there was that, and then there was all the stuff that came out about Batman vs Superman. Was it Batman vs Superman
Yes,
or was
yes.
Justice League? It was Justice League. So that
Uh-huh.
all came out around the same time. And then on top of all of that, we had the Buffy Audible started coming in. There was rumblings about the
my
other
God,
sequel.
yeah.
There's just been a lot of stuff. It's like it's been silent for like 20 years. And then all of a sudden, like while we were
Yeah.
podcasting, stuff was coming up. Juliet Landau started her podcast. Like
Oh
there's and
my
then
God, yeah, drama.
Charisma Carpenter's talking about starting her own podcast now too. So it's like there's a lot of big things that are happening in the Buffyverse. This felt inevitable. Several books were by Disney were commissioned and stuff. And so it's been crazy to see, and it's been cool to experience that in real time as we've podcasted. But it'll definitely be something we should talk about on whether we want to do that. If we would come back, I would personally come back for it, even if it wasn't great, because it would be interesting to talk about.
Yeah, I'd be down
think
too.
so
and we'd
too,
have
yeah.
time in between too.
Yeah. So it'd be something to talk about. And yeah, but anyway, craziness, lots of really cool stuff. I'm cautiously optimistic. It's funny because people who will have listened to Investigating Angel and then this one are gonna be like, wow, you changed your tune. Cause I was like, this ruined my day. I was like not happy about it on Monday because I was like, reboots always suck. And then I saw Sarah Michelle Gellar's post and I was like, dang, she's been thinking about this for 3 years. And for
Yeah.
like 20 something years, she's been like, no, no, no. And then the
Mhm.
fact that it's also Gail, oh, I forget her name, Gail something or other, who was one of the original people who produced the show. Like, it's a lot of people that are coming back.
That
I
love the
really hope
show
that they bring
too.
back Marty Noxon.
Several people
Leah.
have pitched that they hope that Marty comes back to write, and Jane Espenson and
Release me! I can't.
I don't think she will.
Can we get
I
like
truly
King
don't.
David Petrie and like David
Oh
Fury?
yeah, Doug Petrie. Yes,
Doug
let's get
Petrie and
Doug
David
Petrie.
Fury.
Yeah.
David Petrie.
I don't know him. Yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be exciting, and
Yeah, just
as
call them
more
up, Sarah.
stuff. Yeah, with
What would happen if you just call
Call
Taylor
them
up?
up.
with my extensive fan base now, all my connections.
Right.
But yes, this will be something as more information drops, as we start getting, like, we figure out who all the cast is, as stuff releases, we're definitely going to be talking about it. I don't know. Hopefully stuff will be dropping while we're still releasing the podcast. But, you know, maybe our podcasting days aren't behind us. Andrew is going to be like, no.
I know, literally.
But
same with Simon.
the good news is it's not going to be 22 episodes.
Yeah.
It's going to be probably 8 episodes max for a
Which
season.
sucks.
And then,
I'm not gonna lie. Like having that
Yeah.
little episode, like how are you gonna get through all the stuff?
But then at least we won't have freaking filler episodes like Go Fish, bruh. Or like Inca Mummy Girl. Like,
I like Inca
bruh,
Mummy
okay.
Girl.
Okay, after this episode, I'm looking back at some of those a little more fondly. Let's just say that. But anyway, okay.
True, but
We can continue this conversation on as we continue the podcast and stuff. But we'll be thinking about it. Let us know if you guys want us to come back, because I definitely have gotten several people. I've gotten a couple DMs, Leia and I have as well, where people said their first thought was, "Yay, that means that they're not leaving, like they're coming back." And I was like,
people aren't sick of us.
Yeah, they're like,
5 years, guys.
people.
Y'all want this? I guess.
I'm tired of hearing myself speak so much. Sometimes I'll just
Real.
all of a sudden I'll be out of my body while we're recording. I'm like, can someone shut this bitch up? She's just going on and on.
Yeah, imagine having to sit there and edit yourself and then having to do
yeah,
sound bites.
you're the bravest of us all.
Yeah, I've actually become very like callous to my voice. I'm like, whatever.
You know, it's gotten better because like now I can listen to sound bites that I'll see on Instagram every now and again. I'm like, okay, actually, this girl, like, maybe she has some good points.
I feel like my voice sounds different every single time I hear it.
True.
Well,
every single time I hear it, I'm like,
it depends on which position you're sitting. If you're laying down, your voice is like this, and you're kind of like talking like this. Or if you're eating, you're like, oh, yeah, like that. Like, it's just different.
Listen, y'all.
Or Leah unmutes herself mid-scream, and it's like the loudest thing you've ever heard in your entire life. And then she goes,
This is what I bring.
This
is what I bring to the table. Take it or leave it.
Add a little spice. All right. Well, that is our initial thoughts on the Buffy revival and everything that entails. Obviously, as time's going to go on and more information comes out, we will probably do more of these where we'll discuss our thoughts and feelings, what we're excited about, what we hope to see. And, hopefully as they release the different actors that will be involved in the project and everything that goes on with that. But let us know your thoughts, guys. Are you guys excited about it? Are you apprehensive? Are you a little bit of both? Like I mentioned before, I was incredibly apprehensive, still slightly am. But Sarah Michelle Gellar's statement, I think, has helped a lot. But let us know your guys' thoughts. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Tumblr at Becoming Buffy Podcast. And you can email us at becomingbuffypodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to support us and listen to past spoiler episodes, bonus episodes, or get ahead on future episodes, you can join our Buy Me a Coffee membership at buymeacoffee.com/becomingbuffy. Special shout out and thank you to our producers, Christine, Paul, Kashaan, Kate, Tara, and Denise. Thank you to all the rest of our listeners and subscribers, and we will talk to you next time.